So, as I said in the last video, your story is the most important aspect to making an emotional connection with people who you want to attract onto your Beachbody team. But how do you see the value in your story? I mean, we become so accustomed to our own story that we forget how amazing it is. I can't tell you how many times I have worked with people who thought their story was normal. No big deal. I went through this, I went through that, but I got through it. And what they don't realize is when they shorten their story into that little condensed, whatever, what happened, happened, I got through it. They're leaving all of this emotional content on the table, and they're also leaving a lot of money on the table by not opening up and being vulnerable about what those circumstances were that they had to endure and how they overcame those challenges. I grew up in a very unconventional way. I have a fourth grade education, and I was pulled out of school because I was diagnosed with cancer when I was a little boy. And I never went back to school. I lived a very unconventional life, and I've had to create my own way in the world. I hid that story for the majority of my adult life. I never told people I don't have a high school diploma. I never told people all the things that I don't have that most people believe are essential to getting anywhere in this world. I hid all of those details from clients, from family members, from, all types of different people. And, you know, it wasn't until I opened up and became vulnerable about everything that I went through, about everything that I endured, about everything that I had to overcome, that I was able to connect with, in my work as a copywriter, big time clients who paid me a lot of money. And the same thing is true for you. If you really want to attract the people who can help build your Beachbody business, if you want to attract total strangers into your life and into your business model who are going to help you explode your bottom line, the passive income that's going to allow you to travel the world or eat at the best restaurants in the world or buy your family the stuff that they've always wanted, the stuff that they really need. If you want to be able, whatever your why is for becoming a Beachbody coach, whatever your why is, you can achieve it through the vessel of your story, through telling your story and revealing yourself to the world by opening up, being vulnerable. So, again, you get the opportunity to be interviewed, and a lot of those things will naturally come out. But for you to start, really spending time with everything that you've gone through, the story that you keep telling yourself, what do you focus on from your past that you feel like holds you back? Or what circumstances did you have to endure in order to get to where you are right now or become the person you are right now? Those um, those are assets to connecting with people and building your business. And you need to let those out. And so right now, you might not see the value in it, but the moment that you get it out, the moment that you're interviewed, the moment that you become aware of and acknowledge how amazing of a life's journey you've really had, you're going to be able to use all of that to create amazing content to connect with and attract the people who are going to help build your business and, you know, build your finances in a way that you've never imagined possible before. It's all within your reach right now. So check out the slides that are forthcoming and immerse yourself in the knowing that your story is valuable, that what you've been through is valuable, and it is absolutely an asset to connect with and attract the people that you want to work with onto your team and have fun doing it. It's not drudgery, it's not painful work. Allow this to be a cathartic experience to let go of the past and fully embrace your beach body future. Now, most people don't realize how valuable their stories are. Likewise, most people don't necessarily realize how sharing their story is the quickest, easiest way to attract new team members into their Beachbody business. In the last video, we talked about developing a giving mindset and opening yourself up to share your Beachbody journey. But as a Beachbody coach, your story is the most valuable asset you have to connect with new team members, while also demonstrating how you'll train new team members when they decide whether or not to work with you. So when you're focusing on giving value, always start and end from your own personal experiences. Anytime you're posting, blogging on social media. For example, I have a disease called lupus. It's an autoimmune disease. And every time I push my body in a workout, I feel great right after it. But then I might go through a solid week of feeling fatigued, run down, and barely functional. I just constantly feel like I'm going to get sick, and it just keeps me on the edge of my seat because I never know if I'm going to be able to function right. And it gets so bad, so much so that it gets in the way of living life, making money, or getting to my next workout session. Now, ask yourself, how many people are going through the same thing? Well, these are called your identification factors. It's how people see themselves and your experiences. And when people identify with you and with your story, they naturally want to know more, a lot more about you, about your story, about what you went through, your challenges, your breakthroughs, all that stuff. I'll dive into the science behind the identification factor in the next video, but I wanted to drop it here. So here's the thing. If you're like most people, you don't see the incredible value that your daily Beachbody experiences will have on people, on potential new team members. So that's your first step. You have to teach yourself to see how insanely important your story really is. Here's why. As I briefly mentioned in the last video, the most effective way to sell is sharing your life with potential team members. Because a true definition of selling is emotionally connecting with people. You can't influence or persuade anybody until you first connect with them. So that's always the first step. That's what makes being a Beachbody coach so inspiring and exciting. You never have to feel like a sleazy used car salesman because you aren't actually selling anyone anything. You're sharing your experience and inviting people to join you in earning a passive income by constantly bettering yourself with the very best fitness products on the market. That's selling 101 in 2016. So anybody can do it if you know what you're doing. Here's something else that's really important that I need to reiterate. You want to have as many like-minded, passionate people on your team as possible, people who live this stuff just like you. And you want to make a positive impact in other people's lives. So by attracting new team members with your story, you're demonstrating how they can do the exact same thing, which makes building your business easier, faster, and in your total integrity. So to summarize, step one, before you can make a positive impact in people's lives, you have to emotionally connect with them first. You remember, you have to connect with them before you can persuade or influence them. You have to help them see themselves in your story. So what identification factors about your story do you want to focus on and help light up in the people who are watching your videos or looking at your Facebook like page? And you have to share your daily challenges, breakthroughs, and experiences. That's how you're going to continue to connect, build up your brand, create brand equity so that eventually you can ask people for something. However, before you can do any of that, you need to be crystal clear on what your story is. After all, as a Beachbody expert coach, you have to feel confident in the value you're offering or presenting, which begins with discovering the hidden value in your story. This actually goes back to what we talked about in the last video, your why for becoming a Beachbody coach in the first place, above and beyond just wanting to make more money. I recommend having somebody interview you with the questions I'll provide or I've provided that you have right now. In fact, getting interviewed is the single most effective way to get your story to come out. So you have an abundance of old and new material to draw upon, making it easier and faster, quite frankly, to post on Facebook multiple times a day. Which leads me to step two. You have to treat your Beachbody coaching as a business because, well, it is a business, which means you need to keep a constant schedule of new material coming out every day. So you get comfortable with being on camera a lot. Again, you have to be completely vulnerable in order to connect with and reach people. People who will help you earn an amazing passive income if you can reach them effectively. So if being on camera makes you uncomfortable, Talk about it, because that's part of your story. That's part of who you are. Share it. Use it as a way to connect with people who have the same worries or fears. Also, you might want to start learning how to write copy. That's what I do. I'm a copywriter, and copy is the language of emotion. It's writing the way you naturally talk. It'll help you easily reach people with the emotion you're trying to convey and trigger. Ask me or Jesse about some resources to get started if you have any questions about that, about writing copy. And stay tuned for the next video, where I'll be helping you visualize the impact your storytelling has in people's brains. It's some amazing and exciting stuff.